Well, welcome to tonight's edition of Under the Bleachers. Chris Ransom, creator of Under the Bleachers, William Yanish, and our guest Nick Collette, also known in the Under the Bleachers Dynasty League by the username Theo Von Rat King. But
Or
yes,
champion.
you did beat Emmanuel Watson, the champion. I did a recording with Emmanuel Watson last night on his show, Sports Head Radio, another part of the another show
right.
that's on the Draft Utopia YouTube channel. But yeah, we're with you now. And what questions? I mean, I think the playoffs been great so far in college. I mean, all this parity, no blue bloods winning, just chaos at every turn outside of Indiana. So
Oh yeah, that's definitely been something in the college football playoff. Since the start of the this 12 team format. And so many people complaining about it, but man, I absolutely love it. And but the man of the hour here, the man who won our championship, and let me tell you, we got some competition in that league. It seems like
Yeah, it definitely was.
that that's definitely for sure, man. I'll definitely have to figure it out. Some kind of, I'll get you a T-shirt or something under the bleachers, or
No, that'll work.
we got a
get your name
spring
tag on it.
store. Like we've
Oh.
got a spring store, like for Draft Utopia, and that I put like the Under the Bleachers coffee mug that I showed William up there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty nifty too. So,
There's
but
something
yeah,
else you'd like. I can try to figure that out. We can go.
I mean, I don't need anything, but I mean, I will give you guys some free pub, at work or whatever, with a coffee cup or wearing a shirt around town here or whatnot.
Yeah.
we'll definitely get something figured out. But uh, just tell our audience a little bit about yourself, man. I mean,
Yep. So my name's Nick Collette. I'm currently here in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, right outside of Harrisburg. Moved up here about 20 years ago. I'm originally from Vero Beach, Florida, hence the Vero Beach Dodgers hat. Yeah, so I've been playing fantasy football for probably like 25 years. Been doing the Dynasty thing for about, I guess this will be year 10 coming up. So I really got big into it when COVID hit. Sleeper made it easy to just like join multiple leagues at once and just draft. So I think I just finished this year, all told, between my money redraft leagues and my money dynasty leagues and the free ones that have been running since then. I think I was in like 46 leagues total. Um,
oh wow,
I think
I'm
out
on
of
four.
the 46, I think I ended up winning 25. All 16 of my money leagues made the playoffs. I won 7 out of 12 championships. So I had a good year fantasy wise, so I can't complain at all.
Man, we had the star all along. We didn't know
Yeah,
it. We were getting hustled.
everything aligned correctly this year, right? So no, so joining your league was something different, just because I'd come across it, and I think it was in one of those fantasy football groups. So I was just like interested with the whole podcast thing, because during my downtime or whatnot, sometimes at work, I'm just listening to fantasy football podcasts like all day, because it's just, my wife says it's too much, but that's what I enjoy, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to join the league. Figured I'd try some different draft strategies I normally wouldn't do. Hence, with I believe I took Jamar Chase at 101 in a super flex league, and made some other in draft trades and ended up with Chase, Bijan, and Gibbs within the first 2 rounds. And I mean, the rest is history, right? I mean, Bijan was a monster in the fantasy playoffs, and I think I made an in-season trade where I got Brock Purdy for Bryce Young and a second-round pick, and we know Brock went 5 touchdowns back-to-back weeks in the playoffs too, so that really helped. Yeah, the championship game was looking a little bleak at first, but I noticed Mr. Sports Head Radio had left an inactive guy or two in, but Bijan kind of just blew it out of the water regardless on that Monday night game anyway. So I don't think it would have made a difference. But yeah,
Oh
I was
yeah.
grateful for the opportunity to join in and try something different. And, now you guys are here, offer me to come on and talk about it. So I appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. So, is Dynasty your favorite, or into
Absolutely.
keepers, that kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I kind of despise redraft anymore. The only ones I actually play in are one I've been running for like 20 years, and then I play in another one that my dad's a police officer, so he has coworkers. They run a league, and I've been playing in that one for often about 6 years, I think. So I try to just avoid the redraft in general, because I just think there's just so much luck involved, right? Like injuries happen, waiver wires bare. It's like, well, I can't
Yeah.
go make a trade. Like Dynasty, I was like, oh, I
I
can,
used to be in a keeper league. I tried Dynasty for the first time this year. I freaking love it. And the best part is I know how to create like draft simulators. I started
yeah,
doing it for fun. Like I did one with a list, no visuals. Then I started making other draft boards with visuals with the logos of each of the pro teams. I did one for soccer. I'm working on one for NFL. I might make a Dynasty board when I'm done with the NFL draft board, which is like 200. We're going to try to get it up to 2. I think we got the soccer one up to 150. There were 90 players picked. And even after some of the guys that I thought were going to get picked did not get picked, we added them later. So I'm going to try to get to 250, maybe 300. We'll see how many players I can get. I'm currently at 14, but I know I'm going to do one for Dynasty. It's not going to have visuals, but it's going to be reflective of what a rookie draft Dynasty board looks like, because I know that's going to be a fun challenge as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds good stuff. But yeah, I just prefer the dynasty aspect. Like I said, if like injury happens, I can go and trade some future picks to get a player to help me stay afloat instead of redraft. It's like, man, there's nobody out there, kind of just stuck, and that's no fun.
I punted
So
on this draft to double my odds at trying to get Jeremiah Smith in 2027. I gave
yeah,
William my first round pick, second rounder. I think I gave him my third rounder. I've got 2 fourth-round picks, mine and your fourth-round picks. That's it.
yeah. My longest running dynasty league. This is year 10 coming up. I just won that. I've got 6 firsts in 27 for that same reason. Like I traded, year and a half, 2 years in advance. So I'm just putting all my chips in. Hopefully I can land Smith, and hopefully Arch, does what he's expected to do, right? And we'll
Yeah.
see.
Say
So
it,
I'm looking
Waller,
forward to that
find
one too.
Williams. It just feels like there's a minefield of talent in 27.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't follow college football like at all, like during the season. My Sundays take up enough time with the NFL and stuff to sit there on Saturday and do all that. That's too much time away from like the family and stuff for me.
I
It's like,
agree.
so I
Yeah.
just, I do. So I just follow the NFL and MLB religiously. That's the 2 sports I follow. I don't follow anything else, and so
that's about what I'm into. I mean, Dynasty has kind of always been my thing since I came up with it. I mean,
yeah,
I started like 24 years ago on CBS Sports Line or something like that. It was definitely a minute ago, but as soon as Dynasty rolled around, it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And so that's what I've definitely been into. And then after this guy over here, this one, stole Justin Herbert right in front of me. I mean, I had to employ my strategy to. I stayed with the draft board that I had, knowing that I could get Daniel Jones later, and
yeah.
I mean, that was all good until his Achilles tore. But it worked for the time being, and now maybe I can get a quarterback this year if there happens to be one good enough. I mean, I haven't really decided that yet, though.
Yeah, I feel like
But
in this league, my team's. I mean, I don't have any picks for this upcoming draft, which is by design, right? But like, I feel like I'm obviously like I said, I got Chase, Gibbs, Bijan, whatnot. I feel like I'm still going to be competitive, and if not, then move on to the next year's draft and see what 27 will hold for my team. But
yeah,
that's the fun part, right? So like Dynasty with the trading, and then you get to look into like, oh, what picks do I have, what players coming out. It's just a lot more to like, just keeps your mind going, right? Like, so if you didn't play Dynasty, your fantasy season's over now until next August, September, whenever you guys, whenever your leagues decide to draft, and it's just like
Matthew
I need,
Rose
I need, I need
probably
something to
taking
fill my
Jeremiah
time
Love.
before baseball starts.
Probably Matthew Rose, I think, is the number 1 pick, so I'm guessing he's going to take Jeremiah Love. I don't know who has number 2, but I know William has number 3 and number 4 because I traded him my first this year to get his 2027 picks. So, and I had an all-time collapse. Like my collapse was like a Shooter McGavin, Happy Gilmore level collapse. Dynasty this year. But
Hey, it happens.
It
happens. Happens in redraft.
As long as
way
I
too
conduct
much.
myself with integrity and I don't steal any gold jackets, I think everyone in the Under the Bleachers league is going to be okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, talk enough shit in there, but pardon my language. This is my show. PG rating. But anyway, what do you got for Nick here, Chris? You got any questions for Nick?
I'm not sure, like, when's the best time to rebuild versus winning now? I'm guessing if you're in the bottom 4 or you miss the playoffs, you want to get more picks. And if not, you're confident in your team, like I am, then you can just always try again next year. Because
right, you sometimes just got to take a step back and, like, what factors played into why you didn't make the playoffs, right? Like, exactly. This was a bad year for injuries for a lot of players, so it's like, all right, are they still young? So you always hear about the age cliff for specific positions and whatnot. I don't take those. They aren't gospel to me, right? Because obviously the eye test will tell you otherwise. Like Derrick Henry should not be doing what he's still doing at his age. If you went by that metric, right? So it's just always like, all right, I got to get ahead of the curve before these guys start to fall off a cliff. Like, just like Julio Jones, for example, hey, 30's that cliff. Oh, he's Julio Jones. And then it happened like that. And, so guys like Devontae Adams and, like coming up this year, I'm a big Commanders fan, unfortunately, but like Terry McLaurin's going to be hitting 31, I think, at some point coming up this next year. And I mean, we saw the injuries, but it's like, I don't know. Like he's the type of guy I'd be looking to sell while I could right now too. So even though he could play, top wide receiver 2 type numbers for the next 2 years with Jaden Daniels. So it's just, you got to look at it where your team is age wise. And, if you don't think you're going to be a competitive team in the next 2-year window, right, then guys like that are the ones you should be looking to move now before it's too late.
Yeah. So
then you're setting yourself up in that 2 years as well.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to approach all of it on my end, right? So.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, who do you see as a dark horse first round pick? That's likely going to surprise people.
You mean like in a rookie draft, or are you just?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't do too much. Follow college much. I start to like look and read things after the combine. Like I don't even watch the combine. It sounds crazy, but like that's when I start to like, I hear names throughout the year just because people at work talk, and whatnot. So as far as a dark horse, I probably couldn't give you a name unless, I don't know. I've been hearing some good things about this. What's his receiver name? Last name Boston.
Is that Denzel Boston, Washington?
That's it. That's it. So I don't know. He could be a late first round pick in a dynasty rookie draft for sure, depending on landing spot, of course. Because a lot of people play by that notion as well. Like landing spot matters, and it's but there's the old adage: talent wins out every time. Like I know when AJ Brown came out, obviously the guy was a college stud, but they're like, oh, he's in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill, and he fell into the second round in a lot of rookie drafts I was in just because of who he was attached to. So it does happen. Just don't want to have that mindset either.
Yeah. I think this draft, it's definitely lacking on some quarterbacks in the first round. I mean,
I agree.
all kinds of things lately. You know, I mean, Todd McShay on there talking up Dante Moore, and then talking up Ty Simpson, and it's like, man, I'm I'm not I'm not quite sure about those guys. I
I
mean,
agree, William. Currently,
Yes.
I told you earlier today through text that I think we're going to end up having as many as 46 players ahead of Dante Moore on the simulator when it's all said and done, which is about mid-second. That's probably where you have him, Dante Moore. And Pavia could be late first, early second, but I think Mendoza's going to be the first pick in the draft. Does that mean he's number one on my board? No, but I think that's probably. I'm putting him at 1 because I know a Raiders fan wants to take him at 1 in our group mock if we do one this year. Yeah. Hey, Nick.
that's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it all depends on need, right? Like, so I know Jeremiah Love is can't miss. At least they say, right? So I think it just depends on need, and like it goes back to hey, are you ready to compete or are you rebuilding? So in a super flex, I know they say, theory is take the quarterback, but I'm taking the best player regardless of position. And usually if you're 101, you're in a rebuild. Your QB is going to have the longevity. That's fine. Sometimes you're a good team that just happened to acquire that 101, right? And you want to keep winning. I'm gonna take a Jeremiah Love over a Mendoza here, right? I know Dante Moore. I've read he's got some undeniable skills as well. His fantasy upside seems to be a lot higher than Mendoza's. But and Mendoza, if he goes to the Raiders, same as if Moore went to the Jets, it's like, I don't know if I want to invest in those type of situations, as dysfunctional as they are. And I can say that as a Commanders fan. We've been dysfunctional for years. So I think love for me is the 101 regardless of format right now. And super flex quarterback, it'd be Mendoza over Moore. But I think if I went with a 1 QB quarterback format, I would take Moore over Mendoza just because of the upside. His ceiling seems to be a little higher, fantasy-wise, I should say.
Yeah.
So, and I did see Ty Simpson declared today. I did get an alert for that for the draft.
Yep.
But, he falls in with those other Bama quarterbacks that, what are you getting when they hit the NFL? So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago in my one Superflex Dynasty league. That's a money league, a $50 a pop money league, and I traded up to 1.02 and I drafted Drake May a couple years ago. And I mean, it kind of had me worried, seeing the Patriots offensive line and the condition it was in, when they actually put him in.
Yeah.
I was kind of scared for his life, But I just figured I'd have to throw that one in there. But is there a player that is just somebody that you wouldn't draft?
That I won't draft. Who screwed me this year? Let's see. Drake London got hurt at like the most inopportune time, like right before the playoffs. Like that, those 4 or 5 games he missed there were killer. And the he's missed games every year, right? Like he's great when he plays, but I don't know. Like I'm trying to avoid guys like that. I mean, granted, injuries happen to anybody, but this is every year. Like availability is the best ability, right? So. And now their quarterback situation, I wasn't sold on Penix coming out of college, and what I saw in the NFL wasn't anything, But I have Bijan on a lot of my teams too, so I usually don't try to double stack position, like quarterback receiver stack, fine, but I don't try to get 2 skill players, and it's weird, I know, but that's just how I like the variance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake London hurt me a few times this year in some leagues. So I'll probably he's not somebody I'm actively going after.
I know one strategy that I used to employ in the keeper league that I used to be in before I joined the Under the Bleachers Dynasty League is I would try to sell high. If I drafted a really good value pick, I remember one year I got Austin Eckler in round 3. So after trading up to get Josh Allen at 2, I decided back in 2022 to trade Eckler straight up for the 6th pick in the draft, and I ended up getting Mahomes in a super flex league. So I had Allen and Mahomes the year Mahomes won MVP, and then I got Nick Chubb in round 3, and then I got Josh Jacobs in like round 8, which is insane, and I ended up winning that year.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I like, yeah, sell high is a big thing. That's a big part of my game too. Like, my main home league, like I said, like I'll play the waiver wire ahead of time, like because I do like I listen to these fantasy podcasts throughout the day, so there's always names, and then I'm like trying to do my own research on guys, and I try to grab them off waivers before they break out, and then when they break out, I flip them for a future pick, right? Because they're just sitting on my bench, right? And then it's just recycle, recycle, recycle. So every year it's just I'm constantly competing because of things like that, and that's how I end up with 627 firsts.
That's what I did. I did something similar because I wanted to double up at QB like I did in 22-23 when I won it all, and I almost did win it all in 24-25. I made the finals before I left Jason's league to join Under the Bleachers, and what my strategy was is CeeDee Lamb was coming off a career year in the 22-23 was it 23-24 season. CeeDee Lamb was coming off a career year, because I think 23-24, that's the year the Packers beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, 23-24, because that was the year your Niners went to the Super Bowl, William. So I got CeeDee Lamb in the second round of that draft, so my strategy was I think CeeDee Lamb's peaked, I'm going to sell high, and it worked out very well for me, because CeeDee Lamb, after that 23-24 season, he regressed in 24-25, and he bounced back a little bit this year, but he also missed some games due to injuries. So the decision to sell high on CeeDee Lamb was a smart one at the time.
Yeah. You just gotta just figure out when the time is, and there are times you make bad decisions as well, and they can come back. But you also have to be willing to take chances, which Dynasty affords you to do. Which is I've made my fair share of bad trades, and I've made my fair share of trades that worked out perfect for me. So like my favorite fantasy player I used to ever own was Kamara. His first 5-6 years in the league, I just used to love watching that guy play. And then now I think the last 2-3 years, like I have Puka on a lot of my teams because I was fortunate to like draft him in like the 4th round of my rookie drafts, and he's a stud. He's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean,
But seeing that, right? So it's like he's a perfect example of like, what are you going to do? Like, I'm not worried about an age cliff for him because he's already made it clear plans to retire by the age of 30. But it's like, what's going to happen when Stafford retires, right? Puka could be 27 years old. Stafford says, "Hey, I'm done." What's the plan there? It's like, all right, well, I need to maybe move Puka at that point just in case he ends up with a J.J. McCarthy like poor Justin Jefferson. So, I'm stuck holding the bag on Jefferson. I think he'll bounce back. I'm hoping Minnesota does something different at
man,
quarterback there.
yeah,
But
they kept letting Danny Dimes walk, Sam Darnold walk. It's like all these
yeah,
guys that went elsewhere, and
yeah.
it's like, and you replace them with JJ McCarthy. It's like, no.
I think they drafted out of need, not out of like skill when they did take him. I'm pretty sure I mean, nobody expected Penix to go number 8 overall that draft. I don't know if maybe they had their eyes on him.
I had a
Well,
late first on
But
Penix, and I had a second on Nix, but when Penix went ahead of McCarthy, and then McCarthy went 10th, you knew Bo Nix was probably going to get picked
yeah, for sure. And I remember that draft. Like I said, being a Washington fan, I was like, I kept hearing whispers of Drake May to Washington. I'm like, don't do this again. Like the last North Carolina guy we had, Sam Howell, was a turnover machine, and
I wanted Drake May. He was my
um,
QB
that's
too.
like
As a New
Rex
England
Grossman
fan, I'm
2.0.
very happy
yeah,
they
right.
passed on him.
And I was like, how do you pass? You can't pass up the Heisman winner. The guy's a dual threat, So we took Jaden. I was like, sweet. And then obviously his rookie year, he was phenomenal. This year he's been injured, and then now May was, he played like a rookie last year, right? And then this year he's just been out of this world. We're talking about maybe the MVP of the league, if not number 2. But yeah,
And May definitely is that. He's
and he's got
cemented
no
himself.
weapons. I mean, he essentially has like his weapons are not elite at all. Like
Yeah.
it's not like
Keyshawn Booty.
Diggs, Hunter Henry, Austin
yeah,
Hooper. Kayshon Boutte's shown some flashes when he's healthy,
You.
but
yeah.
he made it work. Demario Douglas, a guy I liked in college, hasn't done much his
Yeah.
first 3 years, finally delivers in a contract year. Kyle Williams was a guy I thought had potential coming out of Washington State. Used sparingly,
That's
but
who I'm hoping on. Yeah, I'm hoping on Kyle breakout next year
and the other
maybe.
guy I really like is Efton Chisholm the third. I had a
Oh
starter
yeah.
grade on him, but I had him like getting drafted in round 4 or 5, and he's made some big plays in limited action since returning from his injury.
Yeah, yeah, he was a big preseason
A
darling.
lot of people they panicked when Matt Collins went on IR, William, but I was like, you know what? I think there's 5 receivers on this depth chart that are better than Matt Collins, even though Matt Collins is a great role player. So I'm just going to keep my cool and wait for the chips to fall in line. And that's what we've seen with this Patriots team in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. So I was gonna say, so like, yeah, this off season, since off seasons are underway, like I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, hopefully, and whatever leagues like Malik Willis isn't in right now, that I'm trying to scoop him up wherever I can, just on the off chance he gets to start somewhere. Which, I mean, he's looked pretty.
Oh no.
He's still
Sorry,
here.
phone was ringing.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you.
But yeah, Jaden Daniels. I mean, that's one dude that he wants to play like Cam Newton, but he just doesn't have the frame to. He's this walking, talking Gumby type dude. And that was definitely one of my fears coming out of
Sorry.
him coming out of college. Was Jaden Daniels, durability. I was just mentioning how he tries to play Cam Newton, but he just doesn't have the frame.
Yeah,
And
definitely not.
and the same was true with Michael Penix. Having surgery on both shoulders and the same knee like twice. It's like yeah, but they weren't showing all of his medical history. And it was like when Caleb Williams was coming out and they were talking about him, and they were talking about, was it 17 interceptions he had, or was it 33? And that was one thing I talked to Dane Brugler on X about. I asked him where he got that 33 fumbles that Caleb Williams had in college, and he said, "What do you call it, PFF?" But like I
Was that
said,
due
man,
to
I mean,
was that due to the nail polish not being dry? I don't know. Like, no,
something along those
he's
lines.
stepped up his game this year too. I can say that I'm impressed the way he's
Yeah,
played this year.
and like you mentioned earlier, man, I've always preached that landing spot is so much to these kids,
Yeah.
and I mean, so many of them just end up, in some place like the Cleveland Browns or Washington or Carolina with the quarterbacks, and it's like, man, that's where quarterbacks go to die, and it's
Yeah.
like, but I don't know, Chris, you got anything left for Nick?
Nope. I'm just finished adding 16th player. I've been listening to some interviews, looking at some good questions. Oh, NFL playoffs. What's the most exciting game in the NFL playoffs this weekend, in your opinion, Nick?
Uh, uh, I think I want to say San Fran Philly just because I'm up in the area and I don't like Philly, so I'm rooting for the Niners for sure. So I can go in
Everyone in
one.
my family is rooting for the Niners. My half brother Ward's a Niners fan. He got to meet Frank Gore. My brother's
Okay.
staying with my half brother Ward, and none of my family likes the Eagles. My brother hates all of the bird teams. He hates them all: the Seahawks, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Cardinals,
Yeah.
Falcons. Doesn't like any of them.
Yeah, my wife's a big Eagles fan too, so it doesn't help. But yeah, so I'm my pick's the Rams. and I think the Jags got hot at the right time for the AFC, but this has got to be Josh Allen's like time, right? No Mahomes, no Lamar in the playoffs. He's got to show out here and prove he can win something too.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I know Denver was like 11-2 in like one score games this year or something, which I don't think's
Yeah.
playoff time's a little different. I don't know how sustainable that'll be. So I think the Jags could pull some upset here and be representing the AFC for sure, the way they've been playing. But yeah, NFC, I think I'm riding with the Rams. They just seem like the more complete team.
I agree.
If the 49ers didn't have everybody hurt on defense, probably,
That's what's going to decide that game against the
the
Eagles
pass
right
rush
there. Is that
is
defensive
rough,
line,
right?
man.
Yeah, Warner's out, right? And now they lost Bethune. So
Yeah.
it's
I
but
watched Keon White when we traded for him from the Patriots. I think we traded a sixth for him and a seventh.
mhm.
And I mean, the first game I saw this kid in was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I mean, he just absolutely showed out. It was like, dude, and all we really did was move down about 20 draft picks or something like that. It's like,
Well,
I mean,
Keon White is too big to play 34 outside linebacker, and the Patriots, they've got Milton Williams and Barmore at 5 technique, who are both significantly better than Keon White. And Keon White ended up surprising me. He did better than I thought he would, because I think I had like a 5th-round grade on him. They took him in round 2, or 4th maybe, but they took him in round 2, and he ended up doing a lot better than I thought he would. I know Jeremiah had a 1st-round grade on him coming out of Georgia Tech. I didn't understand the hype at the time, but I figured we'd get more for him after he played with the Patriots. But Patriots, I guess they don't value depth pieces. They'd rather have late round picks than keep depth pieces on rookie contracts.
That's the Patriot way, right?
Yeah.
But like like you
that's
alluded
man
to
up.
earlier, right? Like sometimes these kids just need to be in the right situation, and
Yeah.
I think Robert Saleh is such a great defensive coach. So he's getting this guy getting Keon White to play the best football of his life, right? So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean coaching matters for these kids for sure.
Yep.
yeah. And I mean, the best healthy pass rusher we have is like Bryce Huff or something. It's like, you guys are gonna have to,
How
pull something out your ass this weekend.
how great would it be if he goes and like sacks Hurts 2-3 times because he did nothing for Philly? Like that stadium would lose their mind. So
That
can
is for
only hope.
sure.
Can only hope. So yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
This is
And
fun.
like I said, congrats on your championship, and
Thank you.
good luck. Good luck repeating coming up. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
this
have a
next
great
year,
off season.
Big one to
this
remember.
this next season, we've got a picture of you on the wall. Yeah, there's a target right there.
All in good fun. All in good fun.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. Well, you
Well,
guys have a good rest of your evening, and let's have a great off season. Keep the banner going, make some trades, and we'll push on to 2026.
Sounds good.
for
All
sure.
right. I'm out.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Later.
Later.
Later, man.
That was Nick Collette, also known as Theo Von Rat King, and the current defending champion in the Under Bleachers Fantasy League. A lot of fun. That was a great interview. I had a blast.
Yes, sir. Man, I didn't realize we had a sharp all that time. He was out there swimming. Dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. But yeah, no, man. Yeah, I figure we just close out talking about what's left of the
College
college
football
football
season.
playoff.
Yeah.
After bowl week and our whole parody that we have going on now. The defending champs are out.
I believe the first game tomorrow night is Miami Ole Miss. I'm going to double check right now just to see what the games are for tomorrow. and then we're gonna go. Okay, so yes, it's Miami Ole Miss. That's the first game tomorrow. We so Miami upset Ohio State. Ole Miss upset Georgia, and these teams are meeting in the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow. Um, I think this is going to be interesting, but this is a tough game to pick. I'm
That it
going to take
is.
Miami. Ole Miss could very easily win, but I'm going to take Miami because they've got the best pass rush defensive end tandem in the country. Reuben Bain Jr. looks like a top 5 pick, but the guy we're not talking about in the trenches on the offensive line is right tackle Francis Maui-Goa, the Miami Hurricanes right tackle. I do not think Ole Miss has an answer for him. They moved some of their edge rushers that were on the left side next to Princely Umani over to the right side. I don't think they're going to have an answer for him. And if they don't, Carson Beck's going to have a clean pocket, just like against Ohio State. I mean, if the Buckeyes still had Jack Sawyer, I think he would have given Maui Goa some problems, and he did intercept Shadur against the Browns. Jack Sawyer, Steelers' 4th-round pick, a guy that we had in the late 2nd round. Some had him in the early 2nd, ahead of JT Tuimoloau. But yeah,
This is definitely going to be a game, after Lane Kiffin, bailing on Ole Miss to head for LSU. That that's going to be real interesting to see what his replacement does to try to hold on to his job, maybe, or do his best to put on a show for another team looking at hiring him.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, Trinidad Chambliss, he obviously
If
has some
ESPN were
very raw
smart,
skills.
they would air these games at like 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. or 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 12:30, because then you have like 4 hours of. No, think about it. If you aired 2 games right before the NFL playoffs started on Saturday, you'd have football on all day, William. Think about it. If ABC they aired the first semifinal game at 8 a.m. and they aired the second game at like noon. If they aired the first game at like 9 when College Game Day starts, and then they aired the second game at like noon or 1 p.m., you'd have 2 games on until the NFL playoffs start.
Yeah, for sure,
And you
but
wouldn't be competing with the NFL for ratings in the second game until if their game starts at 4:30. I think more people, honestly, William, I think more people would rather watch Indiana, Oregon than the first quarter of Carolina and the Rams. If you had another game in that 4:30 slot, okay, NFL would probably whoop college. But if you're given the choice between first quarter of Panthers, Rams, and the fourth quarter of Indiana, Oregon, I think more people would take the fourth quarter of Indiana, Oregon. So that 4:30 time slot. So that's why I say ESPN, if they were smart, they would put the semifinals on the Saturday of the NFL playoffs and then have like a double header leading into the NFL wildcard games.
that would be too easy, though. I mean, they're just all after that prime time, you know, uh,
Yeah,
showing, whatever you want to call
ratings
it.
are higher on Saturdays, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Ratings for games are higher on Saturdays, but they don't want to put college football on Saturday because they don't want to compete with the NFL directly.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, back to Ole Miss. I mean, the only game that they lost this year was by one touchdown to Georgia.
And they knocked
Back
him
in
out.
October, and that kind of really put something out there. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Ole Miss here just to do something a little bit different. Like I said, I think the head coach there is going to be trying to secure a future for himself. So,
Yep.
and he can definitely get those players to come out there and do what they did. I mean, Kiffin is
Yeah, Indiana, Oregon. I'd like to pick Oregon. I just can't pick against Indiana after what I saw them do against Bama. I cannot pick against them. If you want to pick against them because you love Dan Lanning, you love the culture. But here's the thing. The Raiders are going to take Mendoza at 1 unless Dante Moore wins this game and then he declares. And all that's going to do is get him an audition to interview with the team. They're still probably going to take Mendoza, but if you beat him, at least you'll get an audition to interview for the job you want with the Raiders if you declare it. If you don't, because you don't want to play for the Jets, you can always go back to college and leave the draft odds to chance. Since you're a sophomore redshirt, you have 2 years of eligibility. I don't think the Jets are going to be picking number 1 in 2027. And I sure as heck don't think they're going to be picking number 1 in 2028. So,
yeah, they've been up there a few of the last 20, 30 years.
yes, you risk losing money, but if not playing for the Jets is that important to you, go back.
Yeah, for sure. But then, like, I just don't know, who can actually beat Indiana after watching that game against Alabama. The last half last weekend I was just like, wow. I mean, Mendoza comes out there, or I mean, the Doza comes out there. The Doza comes out there. The Raiders comes out there, and I mean, dude's got some pretty passes that he throws, and very catchable too. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
Best head coach, best quarterback, and best left tackle in the draft. That's what Indiana has. They have the trifecta, and they also have other good players, whether it's Surratt, Mikael Kamara at edge rusher, D'Angelo Pons at corner. They just have a complete team. Pat Coogan won the player of the game in the Rose Bowl at center, former Notre Dame lineman. So I just don't think anyone has an answer to Indiana this year.
Yeah.
They just have so many more seniors than every other team in the country, and I think we're going to see teams copy that blueprint in the portal moving forward.
And the Hoosiers absolutely nailed it when they snagged Curt Cignetti away from James Madison. I mean, it's just whatever they did, it was just a perfect storm. And like I said, I don't know who is going to beat them, but I will take Oregon in this next one, just because I think maybe a Dan Lanning defense might be the only thing that can stop him. I just don't know.
I think Dan Lanning's going to win it next year if he doesn't win it this year, but I think this year is probably Indiana's year. But I think Lanning's close.
Yeah. And that's going to be an interesting future coming up, because, like what they have done with Oregon and the money that they're investing into that team, via the portal. And, that, well, it's CEO of Nike is the one, pushing that for Oregon to win a championship before he, kicks the bucket. But, outside of that, I mean, I don't see. I thought, Texas Tech was going to do more than they did, besides getting,
their defense is great, but their offense looked horrible. But I think that shows Oregon's got some guys on defense. I had a second on Dylan Thieneman, the Oregon strong safety, but he might be a late first now, because he's one of the 8 players after the top 14 picks. There's no more blue chip players, but there's 10 players with a 94 for upside. Thieneman's one of them, so I think Thieneman could move into the late first round. Teams are smart, because I would say right now, if you're the Jets, why are you even entertaining a quarterback in the first round? Because you have you've got 14 guys with blue chip grades, and the next 2 best players that did not get 2 blue chip grades are Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate. They're both projected in the top 10 at the moment. If you're smart, you would just keep your picks and not take a quarterback until 34. And you get Pavia at that spot. You wouldn't get Simpson or Moore. You get Pavia at 34. And if he has off-the-field concerns, you can just get a first-round QB in 2027 with one of your 3 picks. See, that's what the smart team would do in that situation. But the Jets are run by idiots, and they're going to find a way to screw this up.
Yeah, always.
They are.
I mean,
Get Ruben
You
Bain
know,
Jr. at 2, and then maybe get one of the receivers. If one of the 3 receivers, Tyson, Lemon, or Tate, falls to 16, you get them with that second pick, or maybe you get a well, maybe you go you're already got stability at tackle, but maybe you go after one of the linebackers, Anthony Hill Jr. or Arvell Reese. Maybe you go after a defensive tackle if Peter Woods is there. Maybe you go after a tight end like Kenyon Sadiq or Eli Stowers. You already have Mason Taylor. I don't think they're going to go after a player like that. But, I mean, what you could do with that second first-round pick, you need a defensive tackle. You need another weapon at receiver. I think you could get another corner if the value's there. So there's options. I just don't know how many of them are good options. But yeah, Fleming or Tyson's there, or Tate. If any of those 3 are there at 16, and you take Ruben Bain at Junior at 2, I think that's the route you go, and then you get Pavia at 34 with that second round pick to start round 2. I think that's the smart money play the Jets need to make, Will, and we seem to be on the same page.
yeah. And I always seem to crack that joke about, the Jets and the Browns and the Redskins being after, putting getting a new quarterback in there every couple of years, to put more asses in the seats to sell more tickets, and I think that might have a lot more to do with it because, it's something like 61% of the revenue from the NFL comes, from seat sales and merchandising, and
Yep.
one thing though, we were just talking about Texas Tech. I just saw that they ended up inking Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, so I'm kind of interested to see where Baron Morton is going to end up because I mean he definitely had me intrigued.
I think Morton's a senior this year. I think he has to either be a late round pick in the draft, or I think he's a late round pick in this year's draft, probably.
He definitely flashed, at times this last year, but he also had games like what they did against Oregon.
Yeah, but I think Oregon's defense is that good.
Yeah, but that's definitely going to be, something to watch. I wonder if Sorsby is related to Trace Sorsby. That quarterback for the Ravens there for a minute, but
yeah.
No, I mean, when it comes to the championship, like I said, I think that Oregon is the only one that can put an end to Indiana, and they didn't already do that, once this year. So I definitely see, they're just on fire and rolling. So
Yep.
I have to
agree with that.
I have to agree with them as a pick for the championship,
Yep.
And other than that, I mean,
other than that, what do we got going on Saturday? Saturday, we are going to have a 2-hour NFL playoff pick'em show at 10 a.m., but at 9 a.m., Ron Mont and I are going to load up the NFL draft simulator, and we're going to pick for all the non-playoff teams. If you join us, we will each get 6 teams. Instead of Ron and I getting 9 teams, each of us would get 6 teams, and we'd pick for the non-playoff teams. So that is on the table as well.
Yeah,
and I will try to get this thing up to 50 players if you join. If you can't join and you rather just join Joey and I at 10, that's cool. I'll respect that. But if you join us at 9, I will make a conscious effort to get the simulator up to 50 players. It's currently at 17. But yeah, I'll
definitely
show you.
get on for that, man.
I'll show you what we have so far. I mean, I sent you a link earlier, but yeah, I'll show our audience really quickly before we sign off.
I was out there messing with it, and I was going to draft somebody for the Niners, but I really didn't think I needed a goalie. So
Yeah, I still have some soccer players in the simulator, by the way. So if you get guards, there's
I'm just
goalies,
teasing you about
still
it.
have to edit those out. I know you're messing with me, but I appreciate the constructive feedback. Like Mendoza's the only QB, Love's the only running back. It's still in the works. No fullbacks. Tyson, you can get Tyson, Lemon, and I just added Carnell Tate a few minutes ago. Tate has younger, better work ethic, but I think Tyson and Tate and Lemon have higher ceilings. But you could argue that Tate's got a better floor. Sadiq, I've got 2 tackles up at the moment. I just added Maui Goa, the Miami Hurricanes tackle. Oh, did the image not? Oh, I didn't change the folder. I didn't change the folder from offensive tackle from defenseman to offensive tackle. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. It'll show up now. I know it'll show up now. All right. That's what I did wrong. At least I've identified the problem. But yeah, I've got it at 17 players. Got Ruben Bain, David Bailey. So yes, I'm going to try to get as many positions updated as possible. I'll try to get this thing updated to 90. I can't guarantee we'll pull it off, but I'm going to try my very best to get it up that far so that, come Saturday, you can pick the guys you want at certain positions.
For sure. I can't wait until we mess with this, man. It's gonna
because I'm gonna try to do something like this for the group mock. But yeah, because I figured since Saturday's my 35th birthday, I figured if we do 2 shows, the first show will be something fun, and then the second show will just be the NFL playoff picks in 2.5 hours. And I know Joey likes to do long rants. We can do the coaching cycle next week, but I made plans to since it's also my mom's birthday in addition to my birthday, I made plans to have some fun with my mom. So the podcast on Saturday after the draft show will only be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then we will have to sign off. So
that'll work.
Less rants for me in addition to less rants for Joey. So less rants for both of us. So yeah. It really does give us an average of 5 minutes to get through each wild card game. If there's 6 games, 30 minutes, and then the divisional round's like 30 minutes, the conference title, Super Bowl's 30 minutes, then it really only gives us 5 minutes to break down each wild card game. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But if you look at the time constraints.
Yeah, that'd definitely be interesting.
But yeah, I think we can make it work. But we are going to be on the clock like never before. But yeah, that's the update on that. And then the Doza. Oh, we'll get the Doza. Probably should have screen shared it like this, but yeah, it's like, all right, you can see the Doza, you can see Ruben Bain, but yes, that's the update on that. And I think I don't need to screen share that anymore, and then we can go back to whatever the heck we're doing and sign off.
All right, man. Well, I think that was a good show.
Appreciate you letting me show that. And yeah, progress update. And that's going to be a lot of fun when we can get more people. And I'll try and I usually relax during the summer, but I guess this is now going to be my full-time thing because it's like as soon as this draft ends, everyone's going to want me to start setting up 2027.
Right. Well, you're the draft master, bro. I mean, after all.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
But no, man, I was thinking about that where we take some of those what you mentioned when I threw a wrench into that Kenyon Sadiq draft profile or scouting report, and picking out some of these guys and maybe getting some of the audience involved in the comments,
The
on
BS reports. I love it.
Throwing out some reports and asking, do you think this one's true, or do you think this one's true, or this one's false, or whatever, I mean, that might actually be a pretty good idea. We're going to have to toy with that idea a little bit. But
yeah, I agree.
Other than that, man, good show.
I agree. Great show, William, and enjoy.
All right. Everyone, take it easy. I hope your football team wins this week, unless they're the Eagles.
Unless they're the Chargers, but yes.
Right?
And I still appreciate Justin Herbert and have mad levels of respect for him because he did an interview with me before he became a quarterback of the Chargers. So if you beat us, we're still friends. I still consider you someone I have great respect for. So I'll leave it at that.
Well,
but I think Drake May is going to win, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll pull it together and show you can win without your O-line, and that'll give me the confidence to say, oh, this team can win the Super Bowl in 2 years when everyone's healthy.
Yep.
We'll see. That's what's fun about the playoffs.
Well, congrats to Drake May, because I heard he got first team All-Pro about a couple hours ago.
He got the Amazon Next Gen Stats Player of the Year award. Mm-hmm. And that better not be a ticky-tacky way to neg him out of the MVP.
That's what I was about to say, actually. You know, because that would be some, that stuff. Because I mean, he's absolutely been more to his team. I mean, look who Stafford has had, and I mean, Stafford is the only one.
It took Nick Wright until the end of Week 17 to put Drake May atop of Mahomes Mountain. And then he moves him down to like the third tier after this week.
Yeah. And then, I see freaking, what's his name? Stephen A. calling Drake May, oh, he's a liar because he said he didn't know what show Cam Newton was on. I don't know what show Sham Newton is on, or Scam Newton. I don't care what the hell you call him, man. Yeah.
Welcome to the Sham Wow Newton podcast with your host, Sham Wow.
It's like, I don't watch that crap. There's a reason for it, because that's exactly what it is.
I know the guy who created ShamWow got arrested, but they should bring it back and have Cam Newton in some ShamWow commercials. I would totally buy some ShamWow if they brought ShamWow back and they had Cam Newton in the commercials. That would be a great skit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't think he has enough integrity to do a skit like that. I don't think he would stoop low enough to do a skit like that. He has too much integrity, but it's it'd be funny as heck, though.
Yeah, it would be. So
maybe Drake May was the kid in that Play 60 commercials with Cam Newton, the kid that was winding up his arm. Remember, William, back in the day?
I figured that was either Brock Purdy or maybe it is Drake May. I mean, it's definitely one of them. I guess maybe that's why he's so mad at him. I mean, just loosening up. All right. Well, thanks everybody for viewing our show, and thanks to Nick Collette, Chris Ransom. I'm William Yanish, and